Hey, good morning, everyone. A little bit late this morning. Had a bit of a catch up with a business mastermind group this morning that I'm part of. So a little bit later to our regular wealth coffee chat. But for those joining me, good to see you. Alison, Sean, Elise, Andrew, Nikhil, Hardik. Good morning to all of you guys. Great to see you here. I'm back up and operating in my office. Yesterday we had, the last week or so in Queensland and north of New South Wales, a lot of rain. So stay safe if you've experienced that. And I know a couple of people are working through some of the flood stuff. So thinking of you out there. Cold coffee right now. Need a warm one actually. But anyone who's dropping by who doesn't know me, that's my name, Jason Whitten. Most of you do know, but if you're new and you're finding us either because you've just joined our mentoring and coaching program or you've accidentally found us in one way, shape or form, then give us a shout out in the chat. Let us know where you're from, what you're up to. Be great to meet you and hear from you and see what's going on. Hopefully everything's working fine in the world of the live stream this morning. I thought I'd take on, I said in my little description, hey, put your rents up. I might be unpopular with that one. Hey, good morning, Graham. I might be a bit unpopular with that title, but I wanted to talk to you guys about that today. I've heard a few conversations that we might have a bit of a yarn about. But check this out, folks. Check this out. Have a look at what's going on out there in the world of the rentals. We have a shortage of properties. You guys know this. We've been talking about this for a while. And the marketplace is pretty solid when it comes to the vacancy being low. The lower the number when it comes vacancy rate, the better off we are as property investors. Our rents can go up, and the number of people competing for the properties is there. I mean, check this out: $4,000 a week. Hey, would you pay $4,000 a week for a rental? Like, do the math on that, folks. That's $16,000 a month, or thereabouts. And that's on the Gold Coast right now. It's actually luxury housing on the Gold Coast is going absolutely berserk right now. A few other things here. There you go. The old Melbourne CBD apartments. The vacancy rates have dropped in Melbourne. We were talking about those the other day. Rents going up here, rents going up there. Sydney in the grip of historic housing supply, and that's going to push up not only prices, folks, but I think it's going to push the rents up. We shall see what goes on. Vacancy rate the other day, we were talking about it. Check it out right now, team. This is low. Not much lower you can go when it comes to vacancy rates and the marketplace. There's a lot of rhetoric going on about the idea that, property prices are going to go down significantly and stuff. I think it's complete and absolute rubbish, But, we're talking about putting your rents up today. I don't know about you, but sometimes when we're building our property portfolio, the cash flow is important, right? And when you get a chance to put your rents up when it comes to your real estate, you should. And you should do it in line with the market. And you should make sure that you think about it in a way that, ultimately benefits you and also other things in your life. And I want to talk about why you should put the rents up. I've heard some of our coaches having chats with maybe some of you guys sitting there going, I could have put my rents up, $100, but I only put it up 50 because I wanted to take care of the tenant. They've been a really nice, a good tenant, blah, 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 blah. And, chuck it in the chat if you've had that thought in your mind as we're going. And sometimes that's kind of what you feel. Would we do want to take care of other people. That's why, the world goes round by and large, other than someone like Putin or whatever, but we're not talking about that today. Yep, Brendan said, yep, he's had that thought too. It's like, I could put it up $100, but I'll only do it 50 because I want to be nice to my tenant. And while on the surface that sounds great and you sound like a good person and those sorts of things, ultimately, team, I think that you can take care of things in a better way than that. Number one, if you put your rents up, what happens for your ability is your servicing improves. Servicing improves. Let's do the pros right now, the pros and cons, okay? We'll do the pros and cons, okay? Your servicing improves. Now, for all of us, I would say, unless, had the same. Your servicing improves. For most of us, our ability to improve our servicing, our ability to borrow, to continue to acquire, to build our assets team is pretty important. If you don't put your rents up, the challenge is your servicing won't improve in line with the market. And, the number one thing when it comes to you and your building your property portfolio is your ability to borrow, to buy, the number of properties that you need for your good quality passive income retirement, okay? So if you don't put your rents up, your servicing is a challenge. And, at the end of the day, if you can't borrow more money, that's going to be a real issue. When you put the rents up, you can renovate. You can reno or improve the property. Folks, if you've got more cash flow, most of us at some point will put that cash flow or value back into that property and improve it for the tenant, okay? Now, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you want to take care of the tenant, don't give them a $50 discount on your rent, for crying out loud, folks. Fix something up, add some value, put a new air conditioner in, put some new carpet in, paint the thing, make it look nice. If you're feeling that you want to add some value to someone else's space. For me, that's what I will always do. I'll add value to the property, but I won't drop the rents, okay? That is part of me as the landlord providing something of good value to the tenant as we go along. And last but not least, you can debt reduce faster. Okay? That's three pretty simple ones, right? So your servicing goes up so you can go and acquire one or two more investments, which is part of your acquisition plan. You can renovate or improve the property that you own, and not only as you go, not only as you go, you might improve the value as well as the attractiveness to the rental market. And you can take some of that spare cash flow. Now it's up $50, $100, and imagine spending or putting $100 directly on debt reduction, how quick you can reduce your debts. So there's some good pros in there. For me, those ones are a bit of a tick in the box. Big thing. If you don't put your rents up, obviously your borrowing goes down. Okay, borrowing goes down. Your property disinvests basically and depreciates, and the bigger the gap between the market value and the actual value of the property, the bigger that gap, the less money you have and the less you put into maintaining that property, the gap becomes large, and then the gap could be unbearable. You're unable to cover that gap when it comes to the renovation or improvement or keeping that property up to speed with the marketplace. So Sam calls this the disinvestment gap. And if you don't have money to cover that gap, or you don't have access to that, then hey, what's going to go on? And then your cash flow becomes negative or affected. And right now, team, at some point, the interest rates will go up, and your property that you are comfortable on, positive cash flow. You lock in a low rent on that property because you want to be great to the tenant. Interest rates go up, and now you're negative cash flow. So here's what happens. Your interest rates go up, but you can't put your rents up to cover that, and you're going to be paying out real cash out of your own pocket to cover a debt, and you can't maintain your property. So for me, folks, these are not great when it comes to you and your position as an investor. We want to make sure we look after it. We want to make sure we can be a great landlord when it comes to the quality and the value of your real estate that you put into the marketplace. So, for me, that's going to take money. For you, that's going to take money to maintain that stuff too. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the picture, team. Get in there, have a good chat with your landlords and or your coach. If you haven't got a coach, you should. They can coach you through this. If you want to donate money to a charity, perfectly fine. But your property investing is not a charitable activity. The government charges you taxes. You have all sorts of commitments and debts and expenses on that activity. You should run it like a business. A business is not there to lose money. A charity is perfectly fine with that. And if you want to donate money to a charity like I do, I build schools and other things, the Big Scrub Project, then do that once you've made your profit. And don't mix the two, because they don't mix that well when it comes to that sort of stuff. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. Brendan said, how do you toss up rental increase benefit from loss of vacancy? All right. So, Brendan, certainly if you look at this stuff here, mate, let's say you're in any of these marketplaces here, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, Canberra, Darwin, Hobart, even Melbourne and Sydney, folks, like, outside of the CBDs, those vacancy rates are so low. Brendan, I would expect, if you have a reasonably good property right now, that vacancy rate would be little to no vacancy. You can advertise and show that property many weeks in advance before turning over the tenant that's in there to a new tenancy, and mate, you'd be able to minimise that. For me, if it's 1 week vacant, Brendan, or 2 weeks vacant, that is already in my feasibility. I expect that as a cash flow calculation in all of my properties. I have a 2 week vacancy built into my cash flow, mate. So that for me is not a real issue. And where do the prices stop, Brendan? They find a natural equilibrium, mate. At the end of the day, the rents are very, very low in comparison to what we have had in the past as a percentage. Those rents are now feeling the pressure, and they will increase. They will increase. They're going to increase. The market's increasing already. There's not enough properties around. The interest rates are going to go up at some point. You need to get ahead of that, not be behind that curve as a property investor. Hopefully that makes sense, Brendan, as you go. And Sean says, yep, it's got a renewal at the end of the year, and it's going to go up. Yeah, and it takes time, folks, because you lock in 12 months, but there's a lot that can happen in that 12-month period when it comes to your expenses, especially when it comes to interest rates. And you don't want to be paying that out of your own pocket, folks. Yeah, because you're not a charity. You're not a charity. I get it. You feel for the people renting your property. That's human nature. And I believe you're doing them and yourself a disservice by not having the right market rent. Because ultimately you end up with less money to maintain that property. You might take care of this tenant for a little bit, but then the next one you can't afford to fix the property, and the property starts to decline, and then you're all losing. Everyone's losing. The market's losing because you can't maintain your own property. You're losing because money's going out of your pocket. The person who rents it now has got a substandard property. It's not great as far as I'm concerned. So in my head, in my space, it's maintain your properties. That's how you take care of your tenants. Away we go. Hardik said, is it okay to ring other real estate companies to get more insights about the rents. Yeah, for sure, Hardik. I mean, listen, mate, you're probably better off just looking on realestate.com and domain.com, to be honest, because you can see it all right there in kind of real time, real life. And you can see the discrepancy between, an agent that's working for you and wants to get the most income for you, and then an agent who's lazy, and that's another thing too about that. And maybe we'll talk about that as well. So yeah, you definitely should, Hardik, check in to make sure that they're setting the right rents, they're setting the right pace to get it done as we go on. Yeah, and Sean's sort of saying, take the emotion out of it. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to take care of someone, take care of your property, maintain it, look after it, be a landlord, not a slumlord, and then the people who get to rent it, are going to be happy because the property is in great nick, folks. That's the way it should be as we go. Laura just said, yep, increased her investment property in Canberra after the reno works. Perfect, Laura. At the end of the day, you don't want to let your property devalue. You don't want that market gap to be too large. So that little reno, Laura, especially in Canberra, I reckon you'll be well taken care of. There you go. Awesome, team. All right, well, considering I started a little bit late today, I'll just do a little quick one when it comes to this one. You in the Bass Strait, Brendan? Jeez. Well, mate, stay safe out there. That'd be terrifying for me. Water's not my favourite medium of adventure. Mountains are for me, but good luck. Stay safe, mate. All right, folks, that's it. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted. Put your rents up. Take care of your properties to take care of your tenants. That's my advice from today's quick Wealth Coffee Chat. All right, folks, we should be back at it tomorrow around about the right time, which is 8:10. We started a bit late today. But join me about 8:10 tomorrow for another Wealth Coffee Chat. You guys stay well wherever you are. Take care. Bye for now.